I believe dating is something that I would be open for. It just gotta feel like I'm not chasing it. It's kind of coming to me, you know? And right now, it's just like I'm still trying to figure out who I am right now. You know what I'm saying?
We love you, Tia.
Sometimes it just feels, the idea of it feels frightening. Like you just walking down the street and holding somebody else's hand, or, you know, having a girlfriend or date. Like, I just feel, it feels a little frightening right now.
Tamera Mowry is out here throwing some shade that feels way too personal. And fans are convinced it's all aimed at her own twin, Tia. And yes, Cory Hardrict's name is all over this drama. Remember when Tia got super vulnerable and admitted she felt alone for the very first time after splitting from Cory? She even confessed she and Tamera weren't that close anymore. Well, now Tamera slid in with some slick little comments that got people saying, hold up, is she clowning Tia for even thinking about spinning the block with Cory? The timing could not be messier. And while the sisters are giving fans a whole twin versus twin showdown, Cory Hardrict himself is adding fuel to the fire. After swearing up and down in interviews that he wasn't ready to date, Cory just popped out with a mystery woman like it's nothing. He went from, I need space to heal, to soft launching a brand new relationship like he forgot about every tear Tia shed. Fans are losing it, calling him out for playing both sides while Tia's still out here explaining her loneliness and her broken bond with her own twin.
I came into this world with a twin, and right after that, I went into a 22-year relationship. So I have never been alone in my life. Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, you know, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are.
Now, in case you didn't catch it, let's rewind real quick. Tia sat down with InStyle and flat out said she felt alone for the first time after her divorce. And she wasn't just talking about Cory. She dropped the bomb that she and Tamera weren't even close anymore. Like, imagine that your built-in bestie since birth, the person everyone swore was your other half, and suddenly you're not vibing at all. Fans were floored, saying, wait, Tia and Tamera aren't as inseparable as we thought? And here's the clip that shook everybody. Tia herself admitting that after the divorce, even her bond with Tamera wasn't the same. She literally said, I came into this world with her, but now things just don't feel the same anymore.
I believe dating is something that I will be open for. It just gotta feel like I'm not chasing it. It's kind of coming to me, you know? And right now, it's just like I'm still trying to figure out who I am right now, you know what I'm saying? Being, you know, in a relationship for a while and being married for a while. And my priority is just like career and children. So right now, this is where I am today. You know, who knows, a year from now where that may be.
That confession had fans clutching their pearls because if twins can drift apart like that, what hope do the rest of us even have? Now, Tamera hasn't come out dragging her sister outright, but her recent comments got people side-eyeing like crazy. In her own interviews, she's been tossing around words like boundaries, growth, and not running back to old situations. And when you line all of that up with the timing of Tia and Cory's messy headlines, it's hard not to think she's sneaking in some shade. Fans are out here connecting the dots, saying Tamera's basically rolling her eyes while Tia dips back and forth between her self-love era and allegedly reaching for Cory again. And the plot thickens with Cory himself. After the split, Cory did a few podcast stops where he acted like Mr. Mature, saying he wasn't ready to dive into another relationship.
I see Cory as my partner in crime. You know, it's like I'm not doing this alone.
Yeah. And Tia's been with me every step of the way. Like through the ups and downs, the bad, the ugly, she know ins and outs, everything. You know, she knows it all. So it's like, I'd rather share that with somebody, you know, for the rest of my life than someone who don't know you. And then when everything, just say if everything was great, you don't know if it's genuine. You don't know you don't know if it's real. You know, at least I know Tia got my back, you know, to the grave. So I know she's with me, and she knows I'm with her. And that's just, you know, everything's not perfect.
He claimed his focus was on healing and being the best dad he could be, painting the picture of a man keeping it low-key and responsible. On one of those podcasts, Cory even laid it out plain. He wasn't chasing new love, only locked in on his kids. And that's exactly why fans are side-eyeing these new rumors even harder. Because how do you go from preaching about healing and focusing on your kids to suddenly being linked to a so-called mystery woman? The streets are buzzing that Cory's got an alleged new boo. Even though no photos have surfaced yet, the whispers alone are enough to get people talking because the timing feels way too suspicious. Nothing's confirmed, but that's what makes it even juicier. Cory went from saying he needed space and time to regroup to allegedly dipping into a brand new situation. And that quick switch up is making people raise their eyebrows. It completely changes the narrative. While Tia has been super open about her self-love journey, posting about growth, independence, and how tough it's been adjusting to being alone, Cory might already be out here moving into another chapter quietly. And since he's been playing the private card since the divorce, even the smallest rumor about him feels loud as ever, whether it's true or not. The thought of Cory moving on in silence while Tia's name is back in the headlines with all this sister drama makes the story way messier than anyone expected. It's like a soap opera playing out in real time. One twin throwing shade, the other battling loneliness, and Cory caught in the middle of it all with a rumored new woman. But to really understand why this whole situation stings so deep, we've got to rewind back to the very beginning of Tia and Cory's love story.
20 years in one situation, it's a whole adjustment to even like walk down the street with another person. Like, this is different. Like, I've been doing that over here, happy, sad, whatever. Like, switching it up is like, it's just...
Right. I mean, I haven't done that yet, so it just sometimes it just feels the idea of it feels frightening. Like you just walking down the street and holding somebody else's hand, or you know, having a girlfriend or date. Like it feels a little frightening right now.
You haven't broached this side of life at all?
Say broach.
Because their history explains exactly why this fresh twist cuts so sharp. As most people already know, Tia and Cory weren't just some random Hollywood fling. Their story goes way back to 2005 on the set of a little indie film. Tia was already a household name thanks to Sister, while Cory was just starting out and hustling for roles. At first, there wasn't any romance, just a cool friendship. Tia even used to give Cory rides home after work. But over time, that casual bond turned into something real, something fans swore was built to last forever. By Christmas 2006, Cory was down on one knee with a proposal, and just 2 years later, they sealed the deal with a wedding. For years, the image they presented was pure Black love goals. 2 beautiful kids, flawless family photos, red carpet looks, and interviews where they gushed about each other. On social media, they were the couple everyone thought cracked the secret code to making Hollywood marriages work. Fans saw Cory as the supportive husband and Tia as the glowing wife who had it all. But behind the highlight reels, things weren't as picture perfect as they seemed. Tia later confessed that while Cory wasn't some kind of villain, she was losing herself in the marriage. She said she was giving, pouring into her family while forgetting about her own needs. By 2022, she made the bold choice to file for divorce, framing it not as a failure, but as choosing happiness over sacrifice. That was her awakening moment.
To have a feeling and a sense of freedom following my divorce, mainly because I had been struggling for a minute about what is it that I felt was best for me. Thanks to intuition and trust in self, I was able to move through that and feel, a sense of freedom.
The big pivot where she promised herself she'd finally put her first. And that's exactly why these new rumors about Cory moving on sting so much. Because while Tia's out here fighting for self-love, it looks like Cory's already flipped the page into a brand new chapter. And now Cory might be showing the world he's already deep into another chapter. And that makes it look like he and Tia weren't even on the same page at the very end of their marriage. If that wasn't enough, just wait until you see how completely opposite their post-divorce lives turned out. By April 2023, the split was finalized and the paperwork was done. They agreed on joint custody of their two kids, Cree and Cairo. No messy court battles, no IG rants, no back and forth shade. Just two parents trying to adjust to a brand new reality that neither of them had ever imagined. But here's where the split really hit different. Tia let the cameras roll on her new reality with her show Tamera Mowry, My Next Act.
How are you navigating this life now? You're a single father and keeping it, positive with the kids. How you doing this?
Just love. Everything starts and ends with love,
Yeah.
And we a family, you know what I'm saying? We're a family. No matter what people say, I block out the noise. At least I block out all the noise. And my kids is gonna live to see all this one day, like all these.
She didn't sugarcoat a thing. She admitted how it felt to suddenly be single after more than a decade of marriage. And she kept it real about the loneliness, the fear, and the struggle of having to rebuild her life from scratch. Fans praised her honesty, but they also felt her pain because it was clear she was still processing every piece of that heartbreak. Meanwhile, Cory took the complete opposite route. He kept everything locked down. No cameras, no drama, no messy posts. The only thing he ever said publicly was that his focus was on the kids and that he wasn't about to get caught up in any noise. On the surface, it looked like he was healing in peace while Tia was out here sharing her scars with the world. But now that these rumors about him possibly dating someone new are bubbling up, fans can't help but question whether that quiet healing was just Cory moving in silence. And this is exactly why fans are zooming in on Tamera's little comments. Because if Cory really has a brand new chapter, what does that mean for Tia? Is she quietly trying to circle back? This is where everything starts to click. Tia and Cory weren't just some short-term fling. They were locked in for nearly 14 years of marriage and almost 2 decades of building a whole life together. That type of history doesn't just vanish overnight because some papers got signed in court. When you've shared kids, milestones, holidays, and all those everyday routines, the connection runs way deeper than people realize. And let's not forget, Tia has openly admitted that Cory was her first everything.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close.
First love, first heartbreak, first real partner, first husband. Walking away from that, even for the right reasons, doesn't automatically erase the pull of that kind of familiarity. It lingers, and sometimes it sneaks back in when you least expect it. She's even hinted before, saying things like, "I would go home and feel alone," revealing just how heavy that loneliness hit her after the split. That emptiness is real, and it's the kind of feeling that makes people second-guess walking away. Then there's the family factor. As we mentioned earlier, they share 2 kids, Cree and Cairo, and anyone who's been through a divorce knows how brutal co-parenting can be. Watching your children bounce between 2 homes, splitting birthdays, spending holidays apart, it wears on you. For a lot of parents, that pull of wanting to recreate that whole family for the kids becomes strong. And for Tia, that tug might resurface every single time she watches Cree and Cairo pack a bag to leave her house.
Oh, I've never dated. Cory was my first. Everything.
A few years into the marriage, you realized I made a mistake.
Tia, you shouldn't have to act in your life.
I would go home and feel.
Now let's talk about the loneliness factor, because divorce can feel like freedom, but it can also feel like isolation. Tia has been super open about how tough it was to be single for the very first time in her life. No matter how much she posted about self-love, growth, and independence, those quiet nights at home hit different. That's when the questions creep in. Was it really that bad? Could we actually make it work now? And let's be real, Cory's behavior after the divorce only added to those doubts. Unlike so many messy Hollywood splits, he kept things clean. He didn't trash Tia in the press, didn't run to blogs with secrets, and didn't humiliate her in public. Compared to other celebrity breakups, that kind of silence looked like maturity. And to some fans, it probably made Tia second-guess whether she walked away too soon, especially when Cory looked calm, cool, and collected while she was opening her heart on camera. There's even a clip floating around that shows Cory's whole mindset, choosing peace over drama, even when he easily could have gone the other way. That's the version of him people remember. The unbothered, respectful ex-husband who didn't let the mess swallow him up. But here's the catch. Dating in your 40s, especially under the spotlight, is rough.
You've been very, very private about your separation and divorce from your wife, Tamera Mowry. But what I love is like there's not drama surrounding you. What would you tell people who are going through the same thing that you went through about how to stay in that lane?
You said it, the kids. It's like the kids is like if you really love your children, you won't get involved in the noise or the mess. And I make sure that I always think about them first. I put myself last. So if you do that, you're gonna avoid the mess, right?
Okay, I love it.
Tia spent more than a decade as someone's wife. Suddenly jumping back into the dating pool with total strangers, knowing every move will be judged by fans and blogs, has to feel exhausting. In moments like that, it's a whole lot less scary to think about someone familiar, like Cory, than to start all over again with somebody brand new. Now let's add in the nostalgia factor, because that's where things get really dangerous. Sometimes when enough time passes, people start to believe both sides have grown. Tia could be sitting there thinking, maybe Cory isn't the same man I walked away from. Maybe he's better now. That type of thinking can pull you back in quick. And while it's risky, it's also real. And let's not forget, all this speculation about Cory's alleged new boo only stirs the pot hotter. Even if Tia doesn't genuinely want him back, the idea of him moving on with somebody else could sting deep. Jealousy has a funny way of sneaking in, even if you were the one who ended things. Sometimes it's not about wanting that person again. It's about not wanting to feel replaced. And that's what makes this whole situation messy. Because while Tia might be peeking over her shoulder at the past, Cory's moves are showing he might already be racing forward. First off, let's talk about that silence. Cory barely mentions Tia anymore. No throwback pictures, no interviews reminiscing about their so-called love story, nothing at all. That's a huge red flag in itself. When somebody cuts off nostalgia cold turkey, that's their way of saying, I'm not stuck in the past. I'm carving out something new.
Who's your date tonight?
My date, I brought my family, my nephew, my sister, my team. Yeah, just celebrating with all the people. I'm for the culture.
And then there's his career pivot. Instead of being introduced as Tia's husband, Cory has been leaning hard into his acting grind, stepping onto red carpet solo, popping up at premieres without her by his side, and steadily building his own name. It feels intentional, almost like he's reclaiming his brand, reminding the world, I've got my own storyline outside of that marriage. Co-parenting, that's all it is now. Strictly business. No playful selfies, no friendly family-style posts. None of that, we're still best friends energy some Hollywood exes like to sell. Cory and Tia only pop up together when it's about the kids, and everything else stays locked down private. That alone speaks volumes. And let's talk about Cory's new social circle, because fans are clocking it hard. He's been spotted networking with fresh faces in the industry, building connections that don't tie back to Tia at all. When someone starts swapping out the old circle connected to their ex, it's not random. It's a clear signal they're building a whole new lifestyle, a new identity separate from that past chapter. On top of that, Cory's been pushing the career-first narrative. Publicly, he's all about his grind, his projects, his growth. The fact that he avoids personal interviews but goes out of his way to hype up his acting work screams one thing: my ex is not my headline anymore. But of course, that doesn't stop reporters from asking, so who's your date tonight? That question keeps following him, and his tight-lipped answers only fuel the whispers about that alleged mystery woman. And body language? Fans are analyzing it every chance they get. Whenever Cory and Tia end up in the same space, he keeps it icy. No eye contact, no warmth, no casual smiles. That's the loudest message of all, without him saying a single word. Just look back at that red carpet event where they linked up. The tension was so thick, fans were rewinding the clips just to clock how awkward it really was. Top it all off with the subtle flexing, whether it's showing off gym upgrades, fresh fits, or even hinting at moves into a new house. Cory's projecting one loud message: I'm good, love, enjoy. His whole vibe screams forward motion, like he's shedding the old and stepping into a brand new version of himself. And if that's the case, where exactly does that leave Tia? Is she really holding on to love, or just struggling with the fear of being replaced? The picture is starting to look crystal clear, because while Cory is moving like he's already closed the book, Tia's been caught battling waves of loneliness, reflecting on the weight of her first love, and maybe even wondering if the story could be rewritten one day. Add in Tamera, who's been tossing shade from the sidelines, making it obvious she doesn't support her sister circling back. And suddenly, it's a full-on family soap opera playing out in real time. Meanwhile, Cory is silent but strategic, allegedly entertaining someone new while carving out a separate identity. Every move he makes, from keeping his private life airtight to flexing his growth, shows he's not interested in being branded as Tia's ex who might return. He's building his own lane, his own brand, his own story. So now, you've got three messy storylines clashing all at once: Tia's nostalgia, Tamera's clowning, and Cory's quiet reset. It's complicated, it's emotional, and it's definitely not the clean fairy tale ending fans once thought they'd get. Instead, what we're watching is Tia reaching back into the past, just as Cory takes bigger steps into his future, and Tamera standing on the sidelines, making her opinion loud without saying too much. Drop your thoughts in the comments, let me know whose side you're on, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next chapter we uncover is guaranteed to shake things up even more.